There we go. So today we are really lucky, very fortunate to have David Shahabuddin Less, who has been with the feast for 17 years. And he actually is the teacher of the original founder of the feast, Valerie Scone. David Less, he is, gosh, he was telling me today, a 55-year teacher and has been teaching meditation and having his own inner practice for 55 years. He's recognized globally as a teacher of harmonious living, health, meditation, and certainly personal transformation. For those of you who have heard his meditations before or his discourses, you will find yourself in a deep spiritual place, I'd have to say. He's a senior teacher in the Sufi Order International and the international head of the Universal Worship. Right now, and for the last, gosh, did you say 20 years, he's been the founding member of the Abrahamic Reunion, a group of well respected spiritual leaders from all sides of the spiritual world. And it's a non political NGO who hopefully is doing some deep work, whether the leaders believe it or not, in the Middle East. And I love your dedication to peace, David. I want to welcome you. I know you have more to share about yourself. I will put his bio and his website in the chat for those of you who want to look at that. Thank you for being here on day 29 of the feast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. The feast has become part of my life, and I really am moved that it's been going for 17 years and offering something that is so valuable. And people appreciate it. I know that because they tell me. And I do want to also thank Valerie Scone, who founded the feast and who has really created something beautiful. And thank you for taking it over and allowing her to get some rest. So, if I can mention something about the horrendous situation in the Holy Land, I have been on a day by day, hour by hour basis involved with trying to create a vibration of peace between all sides of the conflict, and there are many sides. And because of our work that we've done for 20 years in Israel, in the West Bank, in Gaza, we're very well respected and trusted. And we are really trying to turn this tragedy into peaceful resolution. And as I say every day to the powers that be on all sides, we don't have to have a perfect peace. You don't have to have all the solutions. You don't have to have all the problems solved. Have peace with problems, but stop the killing. That's the key thing. Stop the killing. So far, we almost get there, and then at the last minute, somebody pulls out. But I know prayers are effective. So if you have a moment, pray for the Holy Land. About the meditation today, if I may, we have been led down the wrong path as far as I have experienced when it comes to death. There's so much confusion, there's so much fear, there's so much misinformation. And, in Sufism, which I've been a part of for so many decades, we learn by experience, not by doctrine or dogma. And if you wish to really understand death, you must experience death. That doesn't mean you have to leave your body or have some extraordinary experience. Just day by day, understanding that a shift in the point of view gradually gives a different experience and viewpoint of life. So in the meditation today, what I hope we'll do is go a little bit beyond our beliefs and see if we are all broad enough, and just let in some thoughts to contemplate on your own time. If you don't agree with something I say, it's all right. Just ignore it, and attach yourself to the things you do agree with. Um, I don't want to change anybody's beliefs or anybody's thoughts or feelings. I just want to provoke all of us a little bit to perhaps look at life and death in a different way. Are we ready? Sarah, are we ready? Okay.
Absolutely.
So one last thing before we begin. I'm in the mountains of North Carolina, and the weather is a little iffy, and sometimes that affects the Wi-Fi. There's nothing I can do. So if I cut out or something, just bear with it, it'll come back. Have faith. So let me set my timer. All of you can really help by watching your posture. You can do the meditation lying down if you wish, but if you're sitting up, please really sit so that your head is seated clearly above your spine. Don't have your face too far forward. Um, and make sure you can sit in a position that you can kind of hold for 20 minutes. And what I tell people is just tell your body at the beginning, look, we're going to do this meditation. It'll help you, my body. So I ask you to be still for 20 minutes. And you'll see your body will respond. So here we go. So begin by just observing your breath, watching the inflow and the outflow of energy as well as air as you breathe. And don't think of it as your breath, just think of it as movement. Not that you own it or don't own it, it's just energy coming in, going out, coming in, going out. Now, just for a minute, instead of identifying with your body, identify with your breath. So you kind of feel the body's unimportant, the breath is everything. This energy, this vibration I speak about, imagine that that's who you are. Make sure your breath is rhythmic and relaxed. Observe your breath carefully. And if there are any sticking points, just go through them with peace. So I'm going to speak about our soul. You can call the soul consciousness, the soul real. You call it God because the soul is God. And in a sense, all souls are exactly the same. The soul pre-exists time, and it will exist after the cessation of existence. The soul is the infinite stillness that is now in movement. This soul that gives energy to your body and mind to live is completely innocent, neutral. It doesn't know anything when it starts its journey. It moves from the infinite stillness to vibration and ultimately to form and finally to physicality. In that journey, the soul gets covered with heavier and heavier vibrations as it moves towards physical manifestation. The vibrations in the beginning of its journey vast and light. And the soul really just gets a sense of itself. It doesn't really even know it exists. And its first experience is a world of pure vibration. That's why in the Bible it says, in the beginning was the Word. It doesn't mean a spoken word. It means pure, pure vibration, essential vibration. And out of that vibration comes the infinite light. First sound, then light. And the soul has the dawn of awakening, but no ego self yet. Most of the rays of the infinite, never get past this point. It is a place of infinite peace and bliss, not bliss that is pleasure, for pleasure implies the duality, pleasure and pain, or pleasure and non-pleasure. But this is a place of pure vibration. As I said, barely any sense of self. But for some, inexplicable reason, even though we like to make up reasons, some souls go further into worlds that are still incredibly refined and subtle, but more and more of a sense of individuation. I exist. And even in these realms of light and pure vibration, there are other souls returning to the stillness, the infinite stillness. And as they return, if they have any covering, any impression, any memory, they release it for the final time in this place of light and purity. And the incoming soul, which has no discrimination, will take on any impression that connects with it. It has no mind, no ego yet to speak of. And it covers itself with this very fine mesh of memories. And moves further from these very pure worlds and enters the worlds of the mind. This is not physical yet. This is the place where form begins to solidify, not physically solid, but mentally solid. This is the place of beauty and poetry and music, art, the place of, in a sense, allegorically, where flowers are created, where form is played with. And it's also a place where there is more individuation, more ego, more sense I exist. And in this place, as souls leave the earth and enter the world of mind, they release so many memories, impressions, joys, and hurts. And the incoming soul covers itself with some impressions from one being and more from another and more from another and so on. And as it covers itself, it becomes less aware of its true nature, of its pure being, and begins to believe it is the covering rather than what it really is. There's a wonderful story. There was a man, simple man, And he was very worried about death. And he asked his neighbor, "How will I know when I'm dead?" And his neighbor told him, rather foolishly, but told him, "When your coat is all worn out, it means you're dead." So he lived life. One day he went to put his coat on, and it was all worn out. And he started to weep and cry and moan, "Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead. Oh my God, I'm dead." And there was a deep person walking by. He said to the man, why are you so sad? Why are you saying you're dead?" The man said, "My coat is worn out." And the deep person said, "It's just your coat that dies. You're still alive." Well, the incoming soul then comes into physical manifestation, all covered by impressions that it has received. Lives its life on earth, and at some point, the coat is worn out, meaning the body. The magnetism of the body can't hold the soul anymore, either through age or disease, even depression. We don't have enough sense of life to hold the soul, and we get weaker and the soul leaves and begins the return journey. Where does it begin? Well, the body dies, but not the mind. This is what's so difficult to understand. The mind lives after the death of the body. Not the brain, the mind. And the only death we feel is the confusion at the moment of death, because the body is gone, but the form is still alive. So you see yourself, and you might hear the wailing of friends or relatives, or the confusion of doctors or nurses, or you hear all that. You say, but I'm not dead. I'm just, and then you realize you're just not physical. And for some, that's very distressing. All that they've accumulated in life materially is gone. And that's very hard if there's been no practice in life of separating from our material life. And gradually we get over that confusion, and we begin the return journey of letting go the memories, the impressions that have covered. And we get lighter and lighter until there is no mind left, no form. left. And we re-enter that world of light and vibration, barely any sense of self, very little ego. And in that world of pure sound and light, we remove the last coverings, and the soul merges with the infinite stillness. In that endless place, of placeless place, it has no memory. It doesn't know it existed. There is no more you. We all become that out of which we emerged. And the journey is over. So I'm going to end the meditation by singing one line from a deep Buddhist teaching. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. Peace. 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 So now gently open your eyes. I hope that gives you a sense of the journey. There are different forms and different labels. But they're just forms and labels. But the essence of the journey is the same for all. Some, as they come in, encounter many, many, many souls that are leaving. Some just a few. And you might say, well, why would a soul coming in ever take on an impression of a body that has difficulty? Why would they go into a place of difficult parents? All these questions, why? And then we create theories. Well, this person did something bad in the past and so on. It's not that way. The soul coming in has no discrimination. It doesn't know about life on earth. It doesn't know what will be good or what will be painful. So things just happen. It's not random, but it's a law that we can't understand when we're in the body. We want everything to be sensible, linear, that we want things to be fair. And it just doesn't work that way from our point of view. If we remember that there's only one being, and that one being is all of us, and every tree and every atom and all of space, and all of now the latest figure is 20 trillion galaxies that exist in our known universe. That's not stars, that's galaxies. That it's all part of one being. So if there's pain, which there is, that one being is really feeling its own pain. It's part of existence. So if we have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.